Now, Chabi Yayi, son of former Beninese president and current opposition figure Thomas Boni Yayi, was arrested early Sunday at his home, according to several of his relatives. Now, no reason was given for the arrest, which comes a week after the foiled coup attempt there. Thomas Boni Yayi condemned the abortive coup in a video addressed 2 days ago, or rather 2 days later. Several arrests have taken place since the December 7 push attempt. They include alleged participants, the former Minister of Defense and key opposition figure Candide Azannai. Azannai was placed in police custody for conspiracy against the authority of the state and incitement to rebellion. Benin has also issued an international arrest warrant against Pan-Africanist and anti-Western influencer Kemi Seba, who on Sunday issued a defiant response on video. Joining us to discuss more on this is an African Liberty Writer Fellow, Agbeye Oburumu. Mr. Oburumu, you're welcome. Thank you very much for joining us this afternoon here on News Central. We'd like to know from you, what does the arrest of Chabi Yayi signal about the Beninese government's response to the foiled coup attempt?
Thank you very much for having me. Okay, so I think it is very crucial to point out the fact that when coup attempts like this happen, the government of the day is immediately expected to push in terms of looking for and clamping down on those persons who have attempted made such attempts at the top office in the country. Of course, coups are supposed to destabilize the existing democracy as it were. And I think this arrest just goes to show the government's proactive measure, if you like, to clamp down on those persons who have been suspected to carry out this coup.
So you say suspected. Now, I'd like to know how significant you think the timing is. It's just a week after the coup, and he did denounce the coup 2 days later. So what does this say about perhaps maybe involvement?
Okay, so the significance, it's quite important to point out the fact that we cannot exactly categorically at this very point in time say that these persons who have been so arrested are guilty because they are yet to be tried. So that is why I earlier said, of course, it's still some sort of suspicion. Now, the significance, it's a two-way thing, because if you look at it closely, you come to realize that it has some sort of, if you like, political undertone with the elections around the corner in April 2026. Of course, political players here and there would want to take swipes at themselves. And when you look at the posturing of the current president, Talon, to a very large extent, we've seen, of course, handwritings in the past as to him making statements along the lines of relinquishing power in 2026, stepping out. And we've seen a situation where the constitution has been so reformed to create some sort of an arrangee system where former presidents would come on board, and to a very large extent we might see a situation where Talon might be the head of that sort of legislature. So I think it is very important for us to understand that the implication of this arrest could go into creating some sort of political unrest, because of course the opposition and their loyalists would not want to have a situation where their leaders are taken out of the picture.
Agbeye, I don't know if you are aware of opposition positioning since after the coup. Well, even if they aren't involved, what's been their posture since then?
Okay, of course. Chabi Yayi, who of course is the son of course, the former president of the country, his father, of course, Thomas Yayi, has come out to condemn the arrest, saying that it is typically politically motivated. And of course, the party which he belongs to, has also come out to outrightly condemn the move to arrest him. Because, of course, like I stated earlier, if we look at the optics, we're going to see a situation where it is not exactly clear the reason as to why he was arrested. Of course, the military personnel, I think 14 of them who were involved in the coup attempt, have been arrested. A good number of them have been arrested, even if the head, Pascal Tigri, is at large. But when we look at the situation on ground, we see a clear condemnation, of course, from the opposition, stating clearly that this is not what it is supposed to be in a democracy.
So the authorities have announced an international arrest for some individuals, especially here, Kemi Seba, who's an anti-West African influencer, and other opposition parties as well, or members as well. So I'm wondering what this is going to do with, how this is going to perhaps maybe affect dissenters, especially the opposition. What are they doing currently? What might we see from the opposition?
Okay, so I think it's going to be a situation where the international community should be involved, because, of course, we are seeing a situation where, of course, in the case of Kemi Seba, an international arrest warrant was issued. And, of course, even the erstwhile Minister of Defense. So to a very large extent, I think the opposition party should become more proactive. Now, the thing is this: if it is clear that these persons were part of the machinations that, of course, saw to the coup attempt in December 7th of this year, 2025, then it's, of course, a treasonable offense, and they could be punished as such. But I think we should not create a situation where people are tried even before the trial. People are already condemned before the trial, because the arrest came in and we've still not heard details as to why, or the reasons as to why he was typically arrested, or the reason why these international arrests warrant was issued. So I think the opposition party should become more proactive and ask questions as to what is actually happening, and I think it behoves on them to actually ask these questions.
Agbeye, thank you very much for joining us for the 3 p.m. bulletin here and giving us your expert suggestions and advice. Thank you.
Thank you for having me.